Mm. Okay, so deep bow and very sincere welcome to everyone who is here live together. We have about 20 people gathered in our Discord community. And if you don't know about Discord, it's the most advanced chat room that kind of has ever existed, you can say. And so we can gather together in just like a Zoom meeting, but through the chat room app. And we'll certainly have some people joining live through YouTube, and also just some people watching through TikTok. So the practice that we're going to be doing together today is to gather together as a community. So each of us as individuals gathering together as a community um, with the intention to practice meditation. So that is to collect our mind, to stabilize, to simplify the mind, and establish ourselves in the present moment. That's what we're going to be doing together today. And meditation is, from a Buddhist perspective, one of the highest good deeds. So, we all kind of know this teaching that if you want to feel good, you have to do good. And once you do something that's good, or once you start doing good deeds, you start to feel good. And we also understand surely that the things that are good for us to do don't always feel good. It's not always pleasurable to do certain things that nourish us and that help us. And so the same is true, maybe more than anything else. Meditation is truly difficult. Um, there's a kind of friction to trying to do something that is not about getting something or getting rid of something. Because in our normal, everyday, daily lives, our mind just kind of works like this. We're always going from one thing to the next, from one person to the next, from one place to the next. We're moving towards that experience, that sight, that sound, that feeling that we want to experience. And we are moving away from that feeling or that sight or that sound that we don't want to experience. In meditation, we're basically abandoning that tendency of mind, that way of being. So we are no longer practicing this way of trying to get or trying to avoid. And so that's very strange for us, right? That's a strange place to be in. And so a lot of people, the moment they actually start to practice meditation effectively, and myself at times as well, I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't work. This isn't milk and Oreos. This isn't Starburst candy. This isn't gummy bears. But what am I doing here? Well, what we're doing here is practicing mindfulness. So to be aware of what's happening in the present moment. And to do that, you have to uh, have a kind of recognition that there is a present moment. Okay. And we're also practicing detachment, or this willingness to let go. So as we practice meditation, there's all kinds of thoughts, sounds, sights, experiences that we may have. And we do experience those things. We like or don't like them, or are kind of bored by them. But regardless, we're willing to let those experiences go. We're willing to let that thought go, that memory, that smell, that feeling in the body, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. We're aware of it, but we're also willing to let it go. So this is fundamental in our meditation practice. Before we start with some guided meditation and kind of going through this together, I'd really like to ask if there's anyone in the Discord. Oh, Also, I want to mention this is not a race. This is not a sprint. This is not a marathon. Okay, there's no competitive aspect to it. You're not competing with any part of yourself. And really, we're not trying to get anything out of this experience, period. So there's no rush to go anywhere. There's no rush to meditate. There's no experience that we are trying to get at this present moment. It's more so that we are allowing ourselves to be here and be open to this experience, let go, and just settle and breathe. And we may find that this isn't the right place for us, or that this isn't the right situation, what have you. That's fine, but in terms of coming together to practice meditation and making use of this opportunity, there's nothing to get out of this. There's nothing to avoid out of this. There's nothing really in particular that you have to do. Rather, it's a time and a space for you to allow yourself to not do. And focusing on our breathing and kind of letting the body settle is going to help you to practice that for sure. So, what I wanted to do is ask some of the people if we can get some volunteers here in the Discord call, a kind of what your, kind of short and sweet, direct, but what is your experience level with meditation and also maybe Buddhism? What's your experience level with meditation or Buddhism? What kind of experiences have you had in that vein? And please volunteer, please share. Maybe we can start with Jen. Are you there, Jen? Okay, Jen has jumped ship. So go ahead, Rose. Can you unmute your mic, Rose? Great. Nice to see you. Welcome.
At a Buddhist Zen center in Milwaukee, which is where I'm located or where I'm around. It was a really nice experience. Um, I struggled a little bit at first just because I noticed that my legs kept on falling asleep. So if anyone else here was going through like problems like that, and felt a little uncomfortable or unconfident at first, I kept growing more confident by the end of it. Just because I sort of felt like I stopped worrying about like stopped being insecure about what others might have thought of me in the moment or how I looked with like one leg out at a time sometimes, but I still ended up finding a groove with it and still practiced, and I felt really great by the end of it.
Well, that's fantastic, Rose. Okay, so I really appreciate you sharing that. And it brings up a very
Thank you.
important point in our practice of meditation together, which is to emphasize that it's not a one particular position that we're holding ourselves or that we're locking ourselves into in the mind or the body. Like I said before, it's more that we are allowing ourselves to be here. We are allowing our body to be still and relaxed, ideally upright is very helpful if we can sit upright, but laying down is also okay. But letting the body be still and relaxed while also being aware and alert. Okay, so that's something very important to keep in mind. Thank you for sharing, Rose. And how about Jen?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, you're welcome.
Sorry. I think I hung up the first time. Uh, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, can hear you.
So thank you. I have been practicing only for about 3 months. I moved to a new location and joined my first Sangha. I love it. They're like my family, very supportive. I want to say my experience was rather life changing. I'm able to be much, much more calm, and take things with stride. I don't want to say a whole lot because I'm very, very new to things still, but I actually I appreciate you as well, Bhante. I joined you on Discord from Reddit, actually, one of your Ask a Monk presentations, and so that meant so much to me that it kind of sent me on this path. So I want to say thank you, and then thanks who's bringing this community alive.
All right. Thank you, Jen. It's really wonderful. Some great insight in there about find a community near you. Okay. And there's definitely resources available in the Discord and, in this kind of active community space to help you find a local practice community near you. Okay. Thank you, Jen. A couple of people shared in Ocean. Do you have a microphone? Can you share what you wrote down? Or Braden, can you share your microphone? Or Zana? Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, Zana, go ahead.
So recently I had my spiritual awakening, if you guys know what that means. It's really scary. But I had this I was meditating and I was a fairy and it was really real to me because obviously being awake, everything was very real and I had my own kingdom. I was in a kingdom with my husband and stuff, which I'm gonna have soon. And so it was just really magical and real. Like when you're awake, you're meditating, your head is so real. So honestly, like it was just amazing. I could imagine myself in like 5D as a fairy, and that was really cool. And his meditating does really help. So that's all I want to say.
Great. Thank you, Zana.
You're welcome.
Uh-huh. And so what also we emphasize here in this kind of practice is we're moving from sometimes spiritual experiences can inspire us and they can encourage us to get more involved with the spiritual practice and kind of see that the world is a lot more rich and a lot more in depth than just kind of the grudge and trudge of normal everyday life. So, I need to work, I need to manage this relationship, I need to meet this obligation, but that actually there's a whole nother dimension to this normal, ordinary human life that is very, kind of puts us on the back seat, puts us, this acceleration and we're pushed back on our seat. So what we do here is it's in some sense it's antithetical to excitement. It's anti-excitement. It's anti-Oreos. It's anti roller coaster ride. We are here not so much to be bored, but to allow ourselves to be simple and to get a kind of a nourishment and a peace and a joy and a happiness from simplicity, from concentrating and relaxing. And so the way that you can know that you're practicing somewhat skillfully, generally skillfully, is that you're having a simple practice. And when the mind gets quite complicated and excited, and whether it's a good or bad kind of excited or not is not important, but you can come back to the simplicity of, yes, there is a body here. And we don't need to wait until we have, a massive stomach ache to become aware of that. We can actually become aware of the body as it's kind of lovely. that the body is sitting here. We aren't in pain. We aren't in misery. And we can breathe and we can see. So there's a lot of happiness and joy that we can generate just from sitting here and being aware of the body and breathing. So when the mind starts to become complicated, whether it's the real complicatedness or the fake complicatedness, or we're a good person or a bad person, none of that matters. We're aware of it and we come home to our breathing, to the body sitting here. And so mindfulness, aware of what's happening in the present moment, especially in our body, and also this willingness to let go. Wow, what a joy. Oh my goodness, I'm willing to let go. I'm willing to let go of this complicated thought. I'm willing to let go of this painful, pleasurable, boring feeling, whatever it might be. I'm aware of it. I'm willing to let go of it, and continuing to practice, continuing to breathe deeply, or breathe in a way that interests me and intrigues me and empowers me to be here now and to be with the breathing. It's kind of listening, this awareness that we keep feeding with our meditation method, we can say. And the simplest meditation method that I would encourage people to work with when you're here, just breathe. But just breathe in such a way where the breath is rich, the breath is valuable, the breath is worthwhile. And I always like to say, breathe as deeply as you need to keep your interest. And also experiment with your breathing so that it not only keeps your interest, but it also relaxes you or concentrates you, depending on what you need at that moment. So it's very much a kind of taking care of your present moment mind through the practice of breathing. Okay, so we have two comments that people wrote here in the Discord about their experience level with meditation and with Buddhism. And also, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you can also share about your experience level, a little bit about it. But I want to read these two messages, and then we'll get into our meditation practice together. So Braden says, I don't do it properly at all. I started trying to have complete silence in the mind, but I learned that's not really fruitful. After a bit, I learned to quiet the insignificant day-to-day things, at which point now my real struggles try to and do occupy my mind. This allows me to fully recognize those things creeping up from my subconscious instead of ignoring them, and I find it helps me. I think this is far off, but hey, it's something and it helps me. In the brief periods in which I have freedom, I try to focus on the feeling, no specific thoughts of compassion, love, and unity between all the beings alive, but this isn't focus on the present moment. I'm still working on letting go. So some great teachings in that. Thank you, Braden. We're not here to try and silence the mind. We're not here to try and control the mind. We're not here to get something out of the fridge of our mind. Okay, we're not here to check out on Amazon some of our mind, something in particular, some experience, some state. So we have to kind of get rid of all that. I like to say we're here to be with the mind. We're here to be with the body, to be intimate with our present moment experiencing. Okay, and that's a joy. And we can recognize that there are certain things that are going to come up as we practice this. They might be very mundane. They might be the most boring, kind of, oh, I'm done, thank goodness this is a online thing so I can just click off, right? Because I'm just bored, I'm done with it. But sometimes these can be things that are really tough, come from deep inside of ourselves. And so how do we work with that? How do we practice that? Well, we don't try to fight or ignore these things that come up. but rather we offer our awareness, our gentleness, and this energy of loving kindness and compassion to those thoughts. Okay, so some past trauma, something we did in the past, some identity that we've believed in regarding ourselves and it hurts us. We're aware of that, and through our breathing, we offer our love and our gentleness, okay, and our compassion, our wish for that suffering to end, to that kind of experience that's coming up, that memory, that thought. Okay, and specifically, do not try to control the mind or clear the mind. Being with the body, being with the mind is going to be our practice today. Okay. And finally, this will be our last sharing of experience from Ocean. Ocean says, I have been studying for over a decade, but have no temples in my area that allow women to participate. So I have been an online meditator for many years. I am not confident that I have made any progress. I have a terrible sense of anxiety that keeps me from staying too long. Sorry to hear that, Ocean, about not having some temples in your area. But we're all here as beginners. Okay, I'm not a guru. I'm not enlightened. I'm not a particularly special person. We're all here as beginners and sincere to practice something that's simple and human and natural. And who knows if we are going to make a lot of progress or not. I like to see it from this perspective that we're here to enjoy. No progress, no success, no failure, just to enjoy this present moment together. Okay, does that sound good for everyone? So I'm going to light this incense here. And let's start with our meditation practice together. Okay? So the first thing to do is go ahead and find a comfortable, stable position for your body. All right? And just maybe adjust a little bit and make sure that you are comfortable and you are in the position that you'd like to be in. It doesn't need to be a special yoga position or anything like that. It's just a sincere, stable, comfortable position, and it can be quite helpful if you are upright. Okay? Just to help stay alert and stable. During the meditation, it's okay if you move, but try to detach from moving. All right? Try to abandon moving. Okay, so we find this comfortable, stable position for our body. And we start our practice by bringing the mind home to the body. And I like to do that by taking a few deep breaths. Breathing in deeply through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. Breathing in deeply through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. We can start to allow our breath to find a natural rhythm, flowing in through the nose and out through the nose. Start to check into the state of the body. How are the legs? The feet, the butt? Is everything comfortable? What do we notice in the lower body area? We look at our body through the lens of our breathing. During meditation, the process of breathing is just like our eyes. So that we are following the breath as it flows in through the nose and flows out. And from that practice of awareness of breathing, we can also be aware of the body. So checking in with the lower body. Checking in with the pelvis area, the stomach, the belly button and the sides of the body, the lower back, just noticing what's there. There's nothing in particular that we should notice or need to notice. It's more so the noticing itself. It's more so the breathing itself that we can emphasize at this time. Breathe as deeply as you need to. Perhaps feeling the breath in the stomach area, feeling the breath in the lungs. Allow each breath to be a kind of coming home. Coming home to our awareness. Feeling our breath flow in, we can become aware of our chest area, the middle of our back, the rib cage, the spine. See if you notice anything there. And as we practice like this, we're not going on a journey to a mystical cave. We're just sitting, we're just breathing, we're just being aware. This guidance is to support you in that practice. So if you find yourself kind of falling into anything, any kind of state, any kind of experience, just come home to your breathing and nothing special, just sitting here breathing. And we can check in with our arms and our hands, See if there's anything going on there. Our shoulders and our neck, our jaw and our head. It's somehow really easy to forget that we have a body. So at this moment, breathing and noticing and looking at with our attention the head, the face, the neck, the shoulders. And taking a deep breath in, we can fully bring the mind home to the body and become aware of the whole body just sitting here. So we become aware of the whole body just sitting here and our minds focusing on the breath flowing in and flowing out. And we can be aware that we are practicing with support, that we have had a intention somehow. We have had a deep intention to practice meditation. And at this moment, we have the opportunity to be supported in practicing and also to support others through our practice. Fully allowing the body to just sit here, just be in the position that it's in, and be aware of the whole body in that position. Allow breathing to happen. Be with the breathing. Enjoy your breathing. Put a smile on your face. Just sitting here, breathing, and aware. There may be particular sounds, feelings in the body, thoughts that come up. And this is where we apply the meditation method. This is where we apply breathe as deeply as you need to. Being with the breath, being with the body, being with the mind. With all its mess, with all its boredom, excitement, pain, fear, worry, joy, happiness. Just sitting here, breathing and aware. Following the breath as it flows in deeply through the nose, down into the lungs, and flows out. Just sit, just breathe, just be aware. Now, this is where we encounter difficulty because we are not at the McDonald's drive-thru. We are not reaching into our fridge. We are abandoning getting something out of this experience. We are abandoning getting rid of something in our experience. Allow letting go to take place. When you are ready to give up, give that up, abandon that. Maybe you will give up, maybe you won't stay for much longer, but when that first comes up, okay, enough, this isn't working, whatever thought comes to mind, don't get stuck on that. Come back to this awareness of your body just sitting here, breathing deeply as you need to. And being aware. following closely the breath as it flows in through the nose, goes all the way down into the body, and flows out. Experience just sitting here. Experience just breathing. Allow, accept, release, release. Recognize, become aware of just sitting here. Don't allow difficulty to discourage you. Try to abandon difficulty, but if you need to, you can stretch your body. You can lay down. You can change position. You can stretch out right now. But also, as fully as you can, lean into just sitting here. Breathing and aware. So there may be particular thoughts or sensations in the body that distract you. My voice may distract you. But notice and kind of exfoliate your practice with a full awareness of those difficulties. So your leg hurts, you have a feeling in your shoulder, you have a thought come up, you feel like this isn't quite going right, feeling of anxiety in the stomach, something like that. You notice it and you are willing to accept that, and you're willing to not react to it. That gives just enough space, that willingness to come home to following the breath, but also this experience and this awareness of the body just sitting here, or just in whatever position you are in. So before you move, before you react to that thought, before you get discouraged, notice these physical formations arising. Notice these mental formations arising. Accept, allow, release. Bring your mind, your heart, your sincerity home to this meditation practice of just sitting here, breathing and being aware. Do not try to stop thinking. Do not try to stop anything going on mentally. Do not try to stop anything going on physically. Also, do not try to maintain a particular kind of feeling. It's a trap we fall into where we think we want to get into the meditation vibe. Detach from any kind of meditation vibe. Become aware of your body just sitting here. Become aware of your present moment breathing and enjoy. Enjoy exactly what's happening here in this present moment. if we can truly touch, just sitting, just breathing, just being aware, then from this point on, our lives will fundamentally change. There is so much to be enjoyed right here and right now. This is a field of transformation and healing. Just sitting, just breathing, just being aware. I invite you to repeat after me. Breathing in deeply, I am aware of my whole body just sitting here. Breathing in deeply, I am aware of my whole body in the here and now. Breathing out, I offer love and kindness to my whole body. Breathing out, I offer love and kindness to my entire body. Breathing in, aware. Breathing out, I smile. Aware, smiling. So we've been practicing together for a few minutes, what we can call mindfulness of the body and mindfulness of breathing. So to do that is quite simple, and this is the real practice of meditation. This is what monks and people who've been practicing meditation for 10, 20, 30, 40 years do. This is how to do it. We find a comfortable, stable position for our body, And we start to focus on our breathing as it flows in and flows out. We allow the body to relax and practice just sitting, just breathing, and just being aware. When those complicated thoughts or complicated experiences in the body manifest, arise, we notice them. We can even offer our compassion, our gentleness to them. And we return, we come home to, just sitting here, breathing and aware. So to finish, I would like to read a short text on loving kindness from Thich Nhat Hanh. And so please just make sure that you're comfortable and listen meditatively to this traditional Buddhist text from Thich Nhat Hanh. Okay? And this is called the Discourse on Love. And this is about how we should be, how we should use our mind, how we should be able to use our mind if we truly want to attain peace. So please listen deeply. He or she or they who want to truly attain peace should practice being upright, humble, and capable of using loving speech. They will know how to live simply and happily with calmed senses, without being jealous or carried away by the emotions of others. Let them refrain from doing anything that would be disapproved of by those who are wise or of their own wisdom. And this is what such a person contemplates. May everyone be happy and safe, and may all hearts be filled with joy. You can repeat these lines after me, okay? So repeat after me. May everyone be happy and safe, and may all hearts be filled with joy. May all beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, invisible or visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Okay, let's do this one more time. Repeat after me. May all beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, invisible or visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one, out of anger or ill will, wish anyone any harm. Okay, so these next lines you don't need to repeat, just listen. Just as a mother loves and protects her only child at the risk of her own life, cultivate boundless love to offer to all living beings in the entire cosmos. I'll read that again. Just as a mother loves and protects her only child at the risk of her own life, cultivate boundless love to offer to all living beings in the entire cosmos. Let our boundless love pervade the whole universe, above, below, and across. Our love will know no obstacles. Our heart will be absolutely free from hatred and negative thinking. Whether standing or walking, sitting or laying, as long as we are awake, we should maintain this mindfulness of love in our own heart. This is the noblest way of living. Free from wrong views, greediness, and sensual attachments, living in beauty and realizing perfect understanding. Those who practice boundless love will certainly transcend all suffering. We can all bring our hands together for this last part. This is a Pali chant. Etana sacha vajena soti te hotu sabada. Etana sacha vajena soti te hotu sabada. Etana sacha vajena soti te hotu sabada. By the firm determination of this truth, may you ever be well. We can all bow to each other and bow to this practice. Okay, dear friends, so that is our meditation class, our meditation together this evening, and I hope that something that you got from this activity and this experience is that this kind of meditation is something you can do anywhere, anytime, any place, any moment. You can refresh, restart. You can touch the present moment. You can touch just breathing, just walking, just seeing, just hearing. You can touch this love, this willingness to practice love rather than this justification for animosity, for negative thinking. Okay, and we can continue this practice in our normal lives. You know, yeah, there are difficulties, there is suffering, there is confusion, but we can also have this practice, and it can empower us, and we can we don't need an event like this. These events are wonderful. This is a great access point. This is a great supporting conditions. But we don't need that to refresh and restart. Any sight, any sound, any moment, any fresh breath can be this moment of beginning again, beginning anew. Okay? Would anyone like to ask any questions before we close down? Any questions or sharing about your experience in meditation? Okay, Braden asked, and please feel free to ask any question that you have. Braden asked, I wonder if the mind paying attention to breathing classifies as the fabled no mind. There are a lot of different views about states of meditation and special experiences and levels of enlightenment, and there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to make use of. But here, it's kind of like going to the zoo. Sure, if you get into the gorilla cage, you're sure going to have an experience. But it's enough to just know that the gorilla is there. Okay, and overall zoos are unethical, but the teaching here is that it's just mindfulness. It's just to know that with all this stress and all this anxiety, all this confusion, all this worry, this turmoil in our lives, right? This real true person and a real true story and this real true suffering that we just can't seem to shake off, right? This self-fixation, this grasping, this anxiety, depression, what have you, whatever it might be, that there's also this freedom, this truth. I'm just sitting here, period. I'm just breathing. I'm just being aware. And that's enough. The more that you invest in that, the more that you make use of that as a practice, you can go in all kinds of different directions. Right? Maybe you'll get really into evangelical Christianity. Maybe you'll get really deep into a tradition of Hinduism or Tibetan Buddhism or, whatever it might be. Maybe you'll be a jogger, anything. But just for me, my position is just to know, just to experience the beauty of life itself. The sitting itself, the breathing itself. It's this real place of freedom. It's this real place of joy, and even if it's just for a moment, to know that that's there and to develop a relationship with that is very empowering. Whether or not that's mind or no mind or special mind, I couldn't say. Mm-hmm. And just a question from someone over on YouTube, from Ashton. They said, what can I do to soften my father's heart? He has so much anger and causes pain to my family. Well, I don't know your father and I don't know you, but what I can say is that if you want to bake bread, you need to become skillful in all of the things that go along with baking bread. So if you want to be someone who can soften anger and soften the heart, then you need to prioritize doing that work for yourself. Okay? And the more that you can do that, the more that you can practice that softening and that loving kindness and that empowerment. Because a lot of this meditation, it's not just about relaxing or happiness or compassion or loving kindness and all that jazz. It's actually about empowerment. It's about becoming powerful. And so compassion is something that comes from power of wisdom, of insight, of deep understanding. And if you want to soften people's hearts, you have to turn inward and you have to soften your own heart. You have to face the Father inside of yourself first. And it's a lot of different ways to do that, but meditation and turning inward and softening and showing up for yourself, certainly I think it can help for you to be more stable and strong in the face of complicated difficulties. You can also invite your Father to go for a walk with you. Okay? Just walk and breathe, or just spend time with your Father with that energy of mindfulness and gentleness. Don't try to force it. Don't try to change anybody. Just kind of show up and be there and be sincere and be gentle and open to receiving their suffering and listening to that. It's not just to lead by example, but it's to experience it for yourself. So then you can share that. You don't need to lead people. It's just sharing. You're sharing, right now I'm sharing my experience. I'm not really leading anybody. We're not going on it. We're on a journey to nowhere. We're taking it easy. We're taking it slow. So we don't really need to lead anyone anywhere, but we have to deepen our own experience if we want to help other people with a deep experience. People who have a lot of anger and cause a lot of pain, they have a lot of suffering. And they have a deep experience. And so we need to have a deep experience as well of a wish for that suffering to end inside of ourselves so that we can embody that and share that. Okay? And of course, lead by example has that energy of it too. Okay, dear friends. So I think we'll finish up with a song. That's always a joy, right? Sometimes meditation can be tough and rough and a little bit heavy. So we don't need to take it too seriously. We need to practice it in a way that's soft and gentle and flexible. Okay? So we're going to sing the song Happiness is Here and Now, which is a classic. I'm sure some of you might know it. Sonia, do you know this song? Not quite. Not yet. Well, let's see. Everyone, I invite you to unmute your microphone and join me to sing this song together. Okay? And what we want to emphasize is we're kind of harmonizing. So we're doing our best to harmonize. And of course, we're doing this online, and there's all these things that go along with that, but we just do our best to sing together as one. Okay? So let's all take a deep breath in. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. No longer in a hurry. Don't forget to smile, Jen. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. somewhere to go, something to do, but I don't need to hurry. Okay, one more time. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. No longer in a hurry. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Somewhere to go, something to do, but I don't need to hurry. Okay, can all offer a bow to each other. Thank you all so much for being here. Be happy, be peaceful, and please bring the spirit of nowhere to go, nothing to do, no need to hurry, and happiness being here and now to the rest of your life. Okay? Thank you. See you again. For all of you YouTubers, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to your mindfulness, happiness, and joy in your everyday life. Thank you.